If you pay attention to the latest in nutrition, you know that fat is back. Yes, after 40 years of being told to reduce our fat consumption, Americans are sicker than ever. It appears that this advice didn't work for us. That has leading health experts like Gary Taubes and Nina Teicholtz telling us to load up on the bacon, eggs, cheese, and burgers, and to avoid carb-heavy foods like grains, beans, and fruit. Clearly, it was the fruit that was making us fat and sick. Well, how true is this claim? Did we really go low fat and that's what's making us sick? Or is there hidden fat lurking in some of our favorite foods, and even though we think we went low fat, we didn't actually? Let's take a look at this claim in greater detail to learn the truth. When we look at how much fat we are eating, there are two very different ways of measuring. Either we look at the percentage of our calories coming from fat versus protein and carbs, or we look at the total grams. The leading experts in the low-carb, high-fat movement love to look at the percentages. There's a reason for that. As a percentage of calories, carbs have increased in the past 40 years and fat has declined. By this logic, I'd say Teicholtz and Taubes are right. But wait a minute. In the last 40 years, we've also increased the total number of calories we consume by 500. Since we are eating 25% more calories every day, the percent changes actually don't tell us the whole story. When we look at total grams of fat consumed, we see that we haven't dropped our total fat intake one bit. In fact, we are actually eating more fat than ever. During the, quote, low-fat era, we actually started eating significantly more fat. So how is it that we were told to go low-fat, believe that we really did go low-fat, but the data paints a very different picture? Is there hidden fat in our food? Are we in fat denial? There are a couple of explanations for this. Have you ever ordered food at a restaurant and had the waiter ask, "What type of protein would you like on that?" What do they mean? Of course, they are referring to the type of meat you would like. Let's look at some common meat choices and where their calories come from. Well, wait. Why do we call these foods proteins when they have nearly as many calories coming from fat? We could equally ask the question, what type of fat would you like on that? Ever heard anyone say, "Ugh, I need to give up carbs entirely. No more chocolate, donuts, or French fries"? Well, wait. Why do we call these foods carbs when they have nearly as many calories coming from fat? Couldn't we equally blame the unhealthiness of these foods on the fat? Have you ever bought the low-fat version of your favorite snack food because you thought it was healthier? Well, you are not alone, and research has actually shown that people will consume on average 50% more of a food if it is labeled as low-fat. Well, wait, so they only took out a couple grams of fat and then I ate 50% more of the stuff? That means the total number of grams I ate was virtually unchanged. So, we labeled meat as protein, fries as carbs, cookies as low fat, and all the while we are eating as much fat as we ever have. In fact, we're still eating more than we did before. The low fat message was not wrong. It was simply used as a marketing tool for the food industry to trick us into thinking we were eating less fat when really we weren't. Eat foods that are naturally low in fat, things like beans, grains, whole fruits, and vegetables. And don't buy the hype. Fatty foods like bacon, butter, cheese, and eggs are as bad for you today as they were in 1970. If you pay attention to the latest in nutrition, you know that fat is back, baby.